All right, so we want to talk about two more things. We'll talk about latest trailer for Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the first big comic book movie for the year, Deadpool.
Yeah, and of course we have to talk about Kung Fu Panda 3,
Right.
just because.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So we could jump into
Batman v
so
Superman.
we could jump into Batman v Superman. Yeah.
Right. This trailer is better than the last trailer.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
Well
superior.
edited.
In fact,
music-wise.
the
Yeah.
second trailer, that second trailer shouldn't have existed. Period.
Although I will say this much,
It had no point existed.
the music grew on me. The music that they used for the second trailer grew
Okay,
on me. It grew on me.
Okay.
So like, even if I do see the big screen, which I actually did twice, for when I saw Deadpool and Kung Fu Panda 3 yesterday,
Yeah.
it grew on me.
Yeah.
I actually liked it, but still the way it was edited, the way how they shows things
Yeah.
that we should not have known. Yeah. But
This trailer, okay, so this third trailer starts off with basically Batman doing his Arkham Asylum route.
Oh,
Like
yes,
just
yes.
beating down a bunch of bad guys. They get Batman moving really good. I kind of regret watching this trailer simply because I didn't want to see that action. I wanted to just see that in the movie.
yeah, like it at least it shouldn't have shown too much of it.
Right.
Could have been like how, like, say, Batman Begins
Yeah.
trailer was, for example,
Yeah.
where you saw bits of him moving about. Like, the first time when he's
Yeah.
taking on the bad guys and
Yeah.
stuff, you see little bits and snippets and stuff. It could have been like that.
Yeah.
But I think, just to cut you off a little bit, what they're still trying to do here with this trailer here in particular is that they really want to let people know, yo, we have a great movie here in our hands, right? We wanted to show you just the best stuff.
Right. No,
But
but
just worry that you might come in and still be
remind me of
underwhelmed.
the You Are Not Alone trailer, the last trailer for Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah, man, I see, right?
Where it just showed a ton of action, and then like we saw a lot of that action in the actual film, so it kind of spoiled that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I get a feeling that like, oh, we see a good chunk of action here now. But that scene with Batman taking on those guys,
Yeah, it looked awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
We see that looked like it was like a quick beginning sequence, nothing much.
I do think it is.
we started to
I
see-
could just picture that
We've
as
seen
being
a
the
ton,
beginning of the film.
this movie really worried me because we've seen a ton of stuff and it's like, what are they gonna fit in to make this edit work? Because they have a ton of things in there. So we say the fight with Batman, Superman. We see Superman roughing up Batman a good chunk. We see him getting pushed, shoved. We see a part where Superman like grabs Batman and just rushes him through a building in his outfit.
Yeah.
I like, whoa. And then we see Superman crash that thing, and then they cut to this really cool shot where he actually blocks one of Superman's punches.
That was badass.
So it's explainable. It's explainable how it is he did that. Some people think it's some kryptonite something. Not sure exactly how it is he could pull that off in his battle suit now. What else we see?
We see Wonder Woman actually doing a bit
actually
more
doing
stuff
something for the
actually.
first time. We see her like doing this dive, whatever it is. We're not
Yeah.
sure what she's gonna do with that.
Looks badass as well.
Looks
too.
badass, yeah. What else we saw? We saw this thing. They keep showing the shot that not sure what's occurring there.
Yeah,
A
I remember
lot of
you
people-
speculated it was a dream or
Right,
maybe it
but
could
some
be-
people say it might not be a dream. It might be. I mean, we're not sure, but it's basically the spoiler is that Darkseid is being referenced in this film.
Yeah,
in some way, shape, or-
Apocalypse, right? The Planet Apocalypse.
Yeah, Planet Apocalypse. Because we know Planet Apocalypse have these huge, fiery things
Yes,
coming
yes.
out of the ground, kind of thing. And one of big Darkseid's running plans is that he want to turn Earth similar to it. So we're not
Yeah.
sure if that's a future scenario or what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really trying to do like this future reference to like Justice League. Like this is
Right.
the biggest threat here, guys. We just gotta
Right.
show you a little piece.
Yeah.
We gotta do the movies leading up to that.
Yeah.
Like what I'm thinking is like like Iron Man, for example, the end of Iron Man where they were hinting at the Avengers Initiative.
Yeah.
So
No,
this
that's-
might be the Avengers Initiative.
Yeah, they have
where-
to do. Yeah, no, we knew
Yeah.
that they were gonna do this stuff, and when the mere fact they said John and Justice, we're like, yeah, we know we're gonna get. My thing is, I'm still on the fence about Jesse Eisenberg.
as Lex.
My fan theory that I'm hoping for is that Jesse Eisenberg's character dies in this, and it's really Lex Jr. and we get to see the real Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that still would be cool, but I still think they might
Yeah,
just
that's
cop
just-
out
that
and
just
just shave his hair
Yeah,
when
some
he goes
shit.
to jail, and then
Yeah, some bullshit
he's
like that.
Lex Luthor now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
good
other than
trailer.
that, though, yeah, it was fantastic as
fun.
well too.
Yeah.
Just looking forward to some good TV spots as well too, and I'm
Right.
still hoping that this movie.
Yeah, and we have a
is
month. We have a month
at
again.
least decent, if
Yeah, we
not
have a
great,
month.
you know.
So it's next month.
Yeah, next month, late next month,
Late
it's
next
gonna
month.
come
So
out.
there's gonna be. I'm gonna enjoy it. I expect to enjoy
I
this.
hope
film.
to.
I go in really low expectations again, as I said. So
Yeah.
that's that. What else?
Now we're gonna talk about Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
2.
the latest Kung Fu.
Sorry, what am I saying? 2.
Yeah,
Oops,
Tree.
sorry.
The latest Kung Fu
Tree.
Panda, right, from DreamWorks, starring Jack Black, starring Bryan Cranston,
Yeah,
starring J.K. Simmons, starring
Angelina Jolie returns, Jackie Chan returns, Dustin Hoffman returns,
yes.
James Hong, who I'll mention later on in this review, returns as well too.
Yeah. Let's talk about the first Kung Fu Panda and how much of an awesome surprise that was.
Yes.
I remember Kung Fu Panda. I was when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be terrible. Jack Black doing Kung Fu, and he's a Kung Fu Panda, and they just decided to call it Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
It's like the laziest name ever. I was like, wow, this is gonna be terrible. And again, at the time, we were like really annoyed at Jack Black. Jack Black was just kind of greeting at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, in the general popular culture.
Well, the
so
thing
like,
is, just to cut you there. Well, of course, we know him from doing comedies and stuff,
Yeah.
and you know he struck it big with School of Rock.
Yeah.
Which is still a decent movie.
He's a person that I kind of like some of his stuff he does. We call it with Kyle Gass.
Not Tenacious D.
Tenacious D, yeah.
Yeah, although I wasn't. Well, then again, I didn't see the whole film. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, The Pick of Destiny.
Yeah, it was. It was just unnecessary. Again, greeting. Again, he's a guy who you either love him or hate him.
Also, I know a lot of people kind of didn't like the fact that he tried to do a dramatic role, but I actually liked him in King Kong. I liked his.
I
liked his performance.
I remember that. Yeah.
I find it stood out a lot. He did a great job with that.
Right.
Yeah.
The first Kung Fu Panda again was a big surprise. I was thoroughly impressed by that film. I didn't expect to enjoy that movie so much. It was a total love letter and homage to old Kung Fu films.
Yeah, all Kung Fu and wuxia films. Yeah.
Yeah, those old Golden Harvest.
Yeah, this stuff from like the 60s,
Yes.
late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, a lot of great moments in that film. I like one of my favorite moments is when the turtle like freezes the guy and then hits him.
Oh yeah, he does all the pressure points.
Yeah.
What I really like is when the villain Tai Lung
Yeah.
actually escapes from the prison.
Yeah.
That prison escape is
Yeah, it's a
so
really kick-ass
like
sequence.
even by animation standards is awesome.
Very, very, very well done.
Yeah.
The action, the combat in it was really good. They made the story work.
And it was a lot of, it was not so much emotion, there was a lot of heart to it. It's the same, I could see the warrior's journey. This one person who you think isn't meant to be this big Kung Fu master, in this case, the Dragon Warrior, literally believing in himself and doing what it takes to become that,
Right. Then, the second film comes out. And
I loved two.
I loved it. Yes.
two.
It was
oh my God.
really, really
I
well
love
done
part
sequel.
two.
It's a sequel again because now my standard. Now I'll admit I don't remember liking it as much as the first one. Mostly simply because my standards are actually now up.
Right.
With this film, I just like, I actually expect a good movie this time, and I liked it. But it was in my opinion, it is pound for pound a better film than the first one. The story was good. They got into the whole backstories of the pandas. They got into like why he seems to be the only panda left. They had who it was, Gary Oldman was the villain.
Yeah, Gary Oldman was the villain.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he's really good villain. They did the
voice acting was
and again, much like the first
well
film, much like the first film, a couple things I had to do, a couple small changes just to change the story. Like in the first film, what I've done, I would have made the villain related to Tigress. So Tai Lung would have
I actually thought at first, like I actually watched the film over again, watched both of them over, and I was wondering, well, okay, is Tai Lung related to her? And
no.
actually, no.
Yeah, actually no, but I would have made it, and I would have them have a one-on-one fight. That would have been a big emotional thing. That's it. That's the only thing I would have changed about the first one. The second one, I would have changed. The only thing I would have changed really is just to have a little more fighting in the opening sequence. With the villain when he took on the masters and then he pulled out the cannon.
Right.
I'd have had a longer action sequence involved there, and I'd have done more with the Kung Fu masters. They didn't really do much with them.
Yeah. But what I really like though is just that they had a lot more action in it.
Yes.
And you show more of the Furious Five.
Yeah, but to me it was just a better story. I mean, I just really, really enjoyed what.
And it was it was fast paced. It was clever. The dialogue was witty. I loved Gary Oldman's performance as well too. He was this badass peacock. Shen. Like you would actually like a peacock. Imagine a peacock being probably the best villain in the whole series thus far, including this one here.
Yeah, and what they did with that is that they did again the great backstory they did with the whole. What they did is when they did the memories, they showed it in 2D.
Yes.
And then they cut back to 3D, and it's that was like, this was really well done and clever.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what you're supposed to do and have a place for 2D do. Like you come up with a good reason of why does he have 2D.
Exactly.
So they're just up and doing a 2D film and marketing another 2D film, which why a lot of 2D films fail nowadays.
Yeah. And I actually remember I actually remember seeing Kung Fu Panda 2 in 3D. Anytime I was just like, oh gosh, 3D, that was when 3D was being saturated, but I thoroughly enjoyed this experience. And then I saw it again recently before seeing part 3. Yeah. And I was reminded why I enjoyed it so much. It was just a ton of fun,
Right. And then that whole ending sequence with the cannonballs and thing. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Really well done.
There was a series as well too.
Yes,
and there was some specials which I haven't seen any of.
I watched a couple episodes of the series. It's okay. It's not half bad. But
does Jack Black he's the only person that
I
does
think he's the voice there.
Right. I know everybody else
of course
is just
the
good
quality,
actors.
Of course, the quality looks much worse in terms of the animation, cheaper. Yeah. So
I guess.
And I get the feeling
but bearable.
Yeah,
CG, right?
Totally tolerable. Yeah, you can totally watch it, and it's not like it unwatchable or anything like that. It didn't reboot. So.
Yeah. Now we have three.
And this film was a slight disappointment. Not a major.
But I understand why you would see it. But
yeah, not a major disappointment, but just a slight disappointment. It's not a bad film by any stretch of the imagination, but it's easily the weakest of the franchise for me.
Yes.
J.K. Simmons was just okay. Here's the problem. So they brought back Uguay's character, Turtle.
Yeah.
And they made him central to the storyline, but I didn't care for his relationship to J.K. Simmons' character. I forget J.K. Simmons. He was like a yak.
Yeah, he was a yak, but I forgot his name.
Yeah. And then they did a whole backstory and why he evil and.
Yeah, and why he wants to get rid of Uguay and why he hates him so much.
Right.
And all that
and
stuff.
it didn't. Because I don't care about Uguay emotionally in that way, it didn't work for me. Like and then another problem I had with this one is that okay, so the second film hinted it had a kind of was it a post-credit sequence or just a final shot?
No, it's the final shot before you see the end, the credits.
You
saw the father.
Right, you saw the dad and you saw a bunch of pandas. Now, in my head, I thinking, well, the pandas is a whole bunch of badasses, and they kind of hint at that. We see that in this film.
Yeah.
Right, because they say how Uguay was trained by blah 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 and so and so.
Mm-hmm. And well, they trained him actually in
the
Chi.
past. Yeah,
in Chi.
And
using the
right.
Well, the force. If you want to be all scientific, but yeah.
Basically, it's Chi. And I didn't care for that because another problem I hated was Jack Black's character, Poe, is not developed at all in this. He's still a dumbass. And I got really
still a clumsy.
Yeah. I got really annoyed by that. It's like, why is he still like this? He should be a little wiser, a little smarter. Why is it that you? Why did
I mean, two movies in now is 3. Like you are the Dragon Warrior, and you're telling people you're the Dragon Warrior. It's supposed to be a little bit more mature now.
Yeah. And I thought they would have done
clumsy.
Yeah, I didn't care for that because the development from 1 to 2 made perfect sense. What they did with it.
Yeah.
He's a little wiser. Not that much time passed, but you see him working with the team. Like in a really efficient way as a team now. But then when they had him like training them in this one, I was like, well, why it is that he's still not in sync with them? Come on, this doesn't make any sense. It almost felt like a big regression for the character and it didn't make much sense. I had a problem with that. Again, the whole thing with Uguay I didn't care for. Bryan Cranston as the dad worked. I thought he was a great voice and I actually
love
like
the
that.
voice acting that he did.
I thought they did a good job with that. But again, because he had to go and train the pandas and really pandas was largely civilian this rounds, and I was like, well, again, that didn't really work for me. And then I think who does they had as the female Mimi, the panda? Helen Holly Hunter.
No, that was Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson, yes, Kate, right. Totally wasted.
Yeah, totally I felt that they should have, like, I was thinking they were going to have a love interest thing between the two.
Yeah,
and then you would have kind of ended it off where they they got married or
something.
whatever, and they had babies
or
something. And they could have just wrapped the whole trilogy up right there.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
Yeah, the problem with this, it felt like a really, like a side story. Again, like all the people who was involved with the original movie, the first 2 movies didn't seem to care about this one. So they didn't try to develop the story in any way. I couldn't get into it. Again, I didn't hate this film by any stretch of the imagination, but it just did not work for me. Not bad, but just because in the context of the Kung Fu Panda franchise, it doesn't work at all. If I jump into it blind, I'd probably like it.
Yeah. Now, before you get to your rating and stuff, my perspective on it, I do agree with you. I do agree with you with mostly what you said. It is underwhelming in Kung Fu Panda standards. I would say it reminded me a lot of Part 1. Where it was really more about the heart of it and not so much the spectacle and the action. It was more about the heart of this journey of this one character that you grew to like. And they try to emulate that with this one here, and it really feels like it. But at the same time, I felt that too much time was spent on Poe trying to reconnect with his family and this group of pandas and stuff. I felt a lot of time was spent on that instead of him being the Dragon Warrior and stuff. The villain J.K. Simmons, I liked his voice acting as well too. He was great. Not surprising. I liked he had this really cool intro music. Like every time he walked,
Yeah.
he had this sort of spaghetti western-esque kind
Yeah.
of music every time he walked through. And what I liked also too is that he was passing off like, "Oh, I am this great villain," and that, and people like, "Who?
Yeah.
Who
So
are you?"
much-
And like,
yeah.
"Wait, you really you don't know me? Who?
Right,
Well,
yeah.
come on, you know."
Yeah,
That was
and
clever.
but that's the thing again. Compared to the first villain, who was much more menacing, and he worked. Like,
Yeah,
why?
but I still think that the second one was the
Best villain,
because he had more motivation.
Yeah. I didn't.
And you're really connected with him.
This again because this villain just didn't work for me. J.K. Simmons, good for actor. The action and how he was fighting with those chains and the soul thing where he was grabbing his soul and then
Yeah,
taking
he
more
had
jade powers,
these sort of ember blades. So
Yeah.
when it touches them, it turns them into these kind of jade or ember. I
Yeah.
think it's jade.
Jade, yeah.
It turns them into jade. So he's sucking their soul
Yeah.
power into it.
Right, and he essentially just controlled them.
Yeah,
And-
control them. So it's
no,
like zombies.
Yeah,
Kind
it was
of.
cool, and it was cool what they did with it. But it just
Yeah. Also, too, what else? Like I like the whole dynamic between father and son. I got that. And when they went to the village and they saw everybody else, and Poe is trying to, trying to get back into that life,
Right.
that panda life more or less.
Yeah.
It's fun and it's cute at times, but I just felt that they spent way too much time on
Yeah.
it. Maybe it's just the pacing was a little off because
Pacing, yeah.
while he's there in the village, the Furious Five trying to stop this guy, and
Yeah.
they're getting their asses cut, and then suddenly it's when Tigress shows up and warns Poe that yes, this guy is coming for them. That's when it starts to get serious, and like I felt that they could have done that a little faster,
Yeah.
could have tightened that up a little bit. Once again, the animation is
Of course,
is
yeah.
outstanding.
art and animation was on point.
Voice acting was great too.
Yeah.
And me getting to James Hong. James Hong. All right. If you're familiar with Blade Runner, guys,
Yeah.
the Asian scientist, the guy who was creating the replicant eyes,
Yeah.
that's James Hong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought, like, even from the first one, he probably does the best voice in the whole movie.
Yeah.
His character is so.
I know
great.
him as
Like,
what was Wayne's World in Wayne.
he was in Waynesville.
Yeah, as the was he not the girl father?
Or
Was it James
not
Hong?
Thackeray.
No, was that James Hong?
I can't
can't
remember.
remember. Yeah.
Dude, Waynesville was like so
Yeah,
long
no,
time
yeah,
ago.
no, yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah.
and just his character, the goose that happened to find
Yeah.
Poe and raised
Yeah, and
him and
again,
thing.
all of that stuff.
And just
again, all
I
of
love
that,
that
stuff,
character.
Yeah,
I really
again,
love
but
that character.
again, because of the nature, the plot and the characterization just came across as really sloppy for me.
Yeah, but you could tell they were just
Right.
well. I liked how they stayed true to the characters,
Yeah.
especially with the father.
Yeah.
The goose father, and like I just say, just the pacing was off.
Yeah.
A lot of moments were spent on the village and not so much on
And it felt sadly
Yeah,
because
the action really.
For me, DreamWorks pound for pound has been shown itself to be much inferior to Pixar, because they just kind of take the easy route. Only films that really stepped up above the usual fray was for me
How to
Shrek.
Train.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Dragon.
The first one, second Shrek, and then the first Kung Fu Panda, and
Yeah.
the second Kung Fu Panda. And so I was in my head, I was like, oh, you did such a good job with the first two. Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. Oh, you're gonna keep this franchise on point.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It felt like they just fell back into the lazy kind of approach.
Yeah.
Not really pacing the story very well.
Well, good thing that you mentioned that too, because I mean, 'cause I don't know if this is the literal end or if this is supposed to be a trilogy that ends at this one.
More likely it'll
but
be a 4. Yeah.
I don't know, like
It's not as bad
no.
it's not as bad as Shrek 3.
no, it's not.
Yeah, because Shrek 3 was a complete waste of my time.
Yeah, but with this one, I just felt like the second one raised the stakes already.
Right.
With the story, the intensity,
Yeah.
the action, the emotion, and whatnot. You would think with the third one they would do that, but
And
no,
didn't
they
do it.
kind of
It
just
stepped
went back down.
Yeah.
They was all cutesy and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's cool to see. And kids are there in the cinema with you, laughing and having fun. But at the same time, it's kung fu stuff. Give us
Yeah.
that stuff that we got in part 2 at least. You know.
It didn't work.
Yeah,
for me, it didn't work.
but for me, well, getting to ratings now, I would actually give it a strong 3 to a light 3.5 out of 5 stars. It is worth checking out though if you enjoy the series thus far. I still recommend you check it out. Just don't go in expecting like the great sequel to end this whole trilogy on a high note. You're not gonna get that here.
Yeah, I give this.
If you like the whole cutesiness and the fun and the laughter and stuff, you're gonna get. You get some cool action sequences, just not enough though. I just wish that it kind of could have been just like how second one was. Even though people argue that the second one was more action oriented, but still, it gave us kung fu stuff, which we've kind of come to expect now. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I give this a CC8. that's what it's worth. Not a movie tongue.
2D or 3D? CC it.
2D. 2D. Yeah, it's a CC. It's not worth a movie tongue. It's not.
I actually thought it looked pretty good in 3D though. They did some cool effects. Like
Right,
in the intro, there was this, like the camera kind of zoomed down, and you
Right.
saw like all these like they were in the spirit realm
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Yeah, no, it had interesting ideas, but again, just not really well fleshed out, not really well done in that way. And yeah, I give this a CC. That is it. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's not a movie tongue. It's not even. Definitely not an IMAX. So
Yeah.
that's just a.
Yeah, I mean, there's everything you come to expect from the franchise already.
Yeah.
You get your
I
sharp
think-
dialogue.
you know what I
you
hate
get your
about
good
it? I
characters,
hate this, like,
but
this-
just nothing more really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the low standards I had with the first Kung Fu Panda, that is exactly what I expected with this film. That's what this film was.
Yeah.
It's that expectation that happened.
And even when they try to go for emotional heft, by the way,
Yeah,
you
it didn't
don't
work.
really get.
It didn't work.
They hinted it. They try to make you
Yeah.
feel, but it's just like
Yeah.
not really okay. This guy coming for this village of pandas, and yes, he had to train him how to fight. You know how it's gonna end. Come
Yeah.
on, come
It didn't
on.
work.
You know, yeah.
It didn't work for me.
Right. So
Yeah, so that's
that's pretty much about it.
that's it.
So finally,
Yeah, we talk about
moment that you guys have been waiting
Yeah,
for.
so we
We're
have-
gonna talk about Le Deadpool,
yes, the
Pool of the Dead.
Yeah, the first of the great big comic book movies. 6 big comic book films this year.
Yeah, and good thing you mentioned that too. But continue.
And this is a really damn good start. My gosh.
Yes, it is.
A
It
very,
is.
very,
It is.
very,
It is.
very
it
strong
is.
start for the year.
You're gonna see a lot of reviews like this. You're gonna
Yeah.
hear a lot of good stuff about it, and
Yeah.
it lives up to the hype,
Yeah,
guys. Oh
I-
my gosh!
So the film is more or less from start to end humor. They pack so much into this. My
Yeah,
gosh.
but there
There's a-
are some moments of seriousness, though.
Yeah.
But you need that in a film like
yeah,
this.
a ton of references, a ton of jokes, a ton of meta. Right, like that. There's our opening sequence alone was
Yes,
so
the
brilliant. and
opening sequence, guys, is probably one of the greatest opening sequences you'll ever see in a
yeah,
movie.
it's so
ever.
Yeah, jokes.
Ever.
Yeah, jokes. Up the yin yang.
Yeah, once you
what
see
did-
that intro, guys, you will understand the full gist of the show.
Yeah,
full approach.
Yeah, what they do with it is that they make a very simple comic book movie, and then just basically do the Mystery Science Theater 3000 stick on their own movie. There's
Yeah, as in like them looking at the movie and
there's
making jokes and
then
puns and
yeah,
stuff.
they just make a bunch of references to Ryan Reynolds' career. They make a bunch of
They
references.
make a reference to X-Men, the franchise.
X-Men, the
and-
franchise. Fox as a studio. Apparently Ryan Reynolds' career and his relationship to Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
A bunch of jokes with that. They make a bunch of stuff like just general Fort Worth stuff. Like they do this really brilliant, a really funny bit when you ask him, you're gonna see Professor X and say which
Oh yeah,
one.
so you say which one?
McAvoy,
Stewart or
or
McAvoy?
Yeah, McAvoy or Stewart.
That was
Really funny
fantastic.
bits.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I expected to. Those jokes just
Yeah.
come
Yeah, a ton of
unexpectedly.
jokes.
and
I think
makes you-
that's a big spoiler because there's no like if you see the trailer, you have nothing to you see the plot. That's the plot.
yeah, that's the plot.
They make a bunch of like no. So the thing is more speculation time here of the nature of like that humor that we have with respect to just meta humor, the reliance on meta humor. We've seen a lot of that in the last few years. The Lego Movie.
Yes.
The 21 Jump Street to a certain extent. Basically anything with Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah.
Has been that. This film this film really worked because of its R rating.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gotten away with a lot of stuff. This movie would have it kind of failed, frankly.
Right.
If it wasn't for the R rating.
Right. Speaking about that R rating, I just want to get into what made this film work for me was just how they marketed, how they approached it. Now, I am not speaking from the person who was just like there in the middle of like their studio exec meeting and whatnot. But I could just imagine these guys tell themselves, well, look, we introduced Deadpool before in X-Men Origins. People didn't like the way how we showed it. And then also, too, you're taking an edgy, hardcore character and putting him in this really watered-down PG-13 film, even though it is in the X-Men franchise, right? But the thing is, like, the question is just, you could just imagine these guys kind of thinking, how do we introduce this character? How do we make this thing stand out?
Yeah.
And I could just imagine these guys just looking back at like the Marvel films before, the Avengers films. I just thinking to themselves, how we gonna get people? How we gonna get butts to seats now? How we gonna do that? So they came up with this really creative not that technique. They just came up with this really creative kind of experiment. I just call this whole movie an experiment.
Yeah.
How do you get guys and girls? And I'm not talking about geek fanboys and all that stuff. Just guys and girls to sit down and watch a superhero movie together.
Yeah.
So using this meta character of Deadpool,
Yeah.
they released the film on Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, normally
actually-
you wouldn't see
and
a
actually make it a-
superhero film at that time, and
Yeah.
they just
Right,
did
so,
everything
so
to
last
make it
year,
work there.
yeah. So last year they did. And you put this film in there's the thing. It transcends. It goes down to like more in the domain of like, even though it's part of the very big comic book franchise, which is Marvel. It kind of goes down in the domain of say a Kick-Ass or another film like say The Kingsman, which again is two very meta films.
Exactly, yeah.
Two very meta comic book films. You know, Kick-Ass is about the superhero in real life, and then The Kingsman is about the Bond guy who's manifests in real life, and he make a bunch of meta jokes about Bond movies.
But what I actually liked is that this film wasn't like, I loved the first Kick-Ass movie. I loved it. It was ahead of its time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But the second one was a huge letdown because it was just so mean-spirited with the humor, and then it didn't know how to blend the serious moments with the humor.
Yeah.
And then when it was serious, it was just so dark, and it just really bogged down everything.
Yeah.
This one, they got this. Like I said, they are serious moments, not too much, but when they're there, you feel it, and because you care about the characters, because you could not relate to them, but you understand where the character's coming from.
Yeah.
You do feel it, but it doesn't bog down or weigh down the film, because you do get lots of moments of humor and stuff, and it works, you know.
So this film again is all about the jokes and the humor. As I say, it's a slightly short review because it's, again, if we just talk about it, it's just spoiling the jokes. Like it's because it's all about the jokes.
All right, but if I could just do like a little synopsis.
We're running through. So
right.
we're gonna run through it, but
But
just what we want to talk about. I know it have your boy from Transporter in it.
Yes, I mentioned it.
Yeah, it's starring Gina Carano.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds, of course. Who was the girl who starred as
Marina Baccarin.
Baccarin,
who you may know from Firefly and Serenity, the very attractive girl in it.
Yeah.
And she's also in Gotham.
Oh, she's
she
in
plays,
Gotham. She was in...
she played Jim Gordon's
new
love interest.
She was in Flash as the voice of Gideon in the first season.
Serious?
Yeah,
that was her?
Yeah, that was her. She's not the voice of Gideon in the new Legends of Tomorrow, but she was the voice of Gideon in
didn't know
in
that
Flash in season 1.
I'm not thinking about it. It does sound like
holy just shit. Look it up on IMDb.
Yeah.
Who else?
I forgot the guy who plays Colossus, but he's in it.
I don't know what's the actor name. No, it was a kind of CG thing, but I forget the voice actor. TJ Miller.
Yeah, TJ Miller. Last time I saw him was there was that Transformers film. I still can't remember.
Yeah, the fourth one.
Yeah, the fourth one.
I know him from the show on HBO. Silicon Valley.
Okay, he's from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley. Yeah. And then what else they had? Oh, the girl. I forget who the actress is who's Negasonic. Teenage Warrior.
I forgot her name.
I don't know.
She's a newbie actually.
Yeah. So, but the film was a ton of fun. They had it, so they brought in what the plot is. So, Matthew, just give us a quick run through the plot.
All right. Okay, so Deadpool, he was introduced in the, I forgot the issue number, but I believe it was a 1991 issue of the New Mutants.
Yeah.
I actually read it. Don't ask me how, just through the forces of the internet, I actually read it. Really cool. And what I liked is that he was just like a henchman. He was a villain in that case.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing that much shit talking. Yes, Deadpool is really famous for his shit talking style of dialogue and stuff. But he was just there in the background. And because of just the popularity of his character, he started appearing other superheroes comics, like of most famously like the X-Men, for example. And yes, he brought that same kind of meta humor into it as well. I remember there was one cover for I think it was an X-Men comic where he's saying, "Hey, you with the comic, I need money for a cab ride home," something like that. So he kind of, and he has this penchant, of course, for like annoying characters. Like he would annoy heroes and villains and whatnot. 'Cause he doesn't care. He's just in the middle. And in this film, he's presented just like that. He's an anti-hero. He's neither good or bad. His needs, his intentions are basically his own. It's not so much about, saving the world and doing all that justice shit. It's just really about doing stuff for him. But it all works within the character. So moving away from the comic books now and into the movie. So Ryan Reynolds plays Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
He's he's dubbed the Merc with a mouth.
Yeah.
So he's
which is what made X-Men Origins Wolverine so retarded.
Yes, because
his character didn't talk.
He didn't see his mouth. It was like some
tripping.
plastic wrappers over him or some shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, right. So he just does these really dirty jobs for that. That's how he makes his money.
Yeah.
He goes. He kind of roughs up guys, and he wouldn't be afraid to pull out a gun, just to get the job done. He just does that for money. And he runs into Marina Baccarin, who plays Vanessa.
She's what's the character? What's the comic book character she plays? But I forget.
That was a comic book character.
It's a character. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was just a character.
It really slipped in my mind right now, but I forget what his name. But she's not invented for the movie. Right?
All right.
It's a character.
Yeah. They start this relationship together, and that's what the whole Valentine's Day thing is. But just think of it as a very raunchy, R-rated version of your classic romance story.
And they make it work.
They make it work.
Yeah,
because she's just as raunchy and
and it's this
sexualized as he is.
Yeah, they made that match, and you say, well, he makes the point of your crazy matches my crazy. That whole joke.
Yeah.
But they made it work in the sense of just the whole upping up each other in terms of who suffered more, which is the running bit they did. And again, the chemistry and the work, it's simple.
Yeah, they have great chemistry together, by the way.
Yeah, and the movie, I'll admit, the movie. Yeah, if I want to say it, does it cheat a little bit in terms of saying, well, all right, we're criticizing all these things about comic book movies, but we go on and just do the same.
That's something. I'll get to that in a bit.
A little bit of internal hypocrisy.
Yeah,
but it's not a broken. It doesn't break the movie by any stretch of the
No.
imagination. Yeah.
Right, but let's get back right.
Yeah.
So, not to spoil the whole story, because like what we just basically, the less you know, the better it is.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, he's sick. He suffers from lung cancer, I believe.
Yeah. No, it was like it was all over.
It was terminal cancer.
Yeah, it
basically.
was like really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's given this number to go by these people to get treatment. He's not sure what the treatment is, and there he runs into our bad guy, Francis. That's his name. Played by I forgot his name, Ed Skrein, whatever his name is. He's the guy from my 10th worst film of last year, Transporter Refuel.
Yeah.
And I would say this much: he's actually better as a villain.
Yeah, but you're still terrible.
I would say he doesn't stand out as much. He's just the standard British bad guy who talks big.
Again, sadly, if we mention this anymore, we spoil something. We spoil a joke in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. Let me just stop there. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Spoiler joke in the movie, because the movie, that's the thing, as I said, because the movie cheats a little bit, it addresses that, which I kind of don't like, but whatever.
Right. So that guy has our hero, our anti-hero, going through some grueling, torturous medical treatment, and then in the end, his cells mutate, and then he becomes this, not a freak of nature more or less, but his skin is badly disfigured. Yeah. And because of that, now he seeks revenge against Francis and the other people who more or less messed up his life. So he dons his suit, and he calls himself Deadpool. They never really explain how he learned how to use swords, though. I mean, we knew from the beginning that he's good with guns. Yeah. We never show how he got to use swords. 'Cause he has 2 swords. That's his secondary weapon, more or less. Yeah. And in the process, now, well, not to spoil too much, he runs into Colossus, one of the original X-Men, but in the X-Men movies prior, he's just a minor character. And he also addresses in the movie as well too. He's just a guy who just he's a hallway monitor. Yeah.
But they finally get Colossus right in these
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like even in X2, which I love, the way how he looked in that was terrible.
Brian Singer, lazy with that character, dude. Holy crap! It's just some guy who just say, well, we're gonna just put silver on him. And it's like, that's not Colossus.
No, that's not him.
They actually get great looking, right? Even though the CG didn't look too hot in this movie, it still looked damn good. Like, this is how Colossus is supposed to look now.
Yeah, and then he has a trainee, a X-Man in process. Right. I forgot her name is
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah.
Just this teenage girl with teen angst. She plays that teen angst thing
and they do it really well.
Yeah, but when it's ready for her to throw down, she can throw it down. Yeah. Yeah, and that's all basically I'm going to say in terms of plot. Now, what I loved about the movie, though, yes, the meta humor, it works. Yeah. It's just him breaking the fourth wall and just reminding people 2 things. A, yes, this is a comic book movie, and B, this is what you kind of expect, and we just kind of poking fun at the fact that this is the kind of stuff. And this is one thing I really loved, and especially with the timing of this film. Yeah. We are getting how much? 6 movies, and even before that we had
A ton.
You know, and let me admit it, the superhero genre,
Yeah, again,
movie
a
genre is
little-
starting to get really formulaic now.
Yeah, a little saturated. Yeah.
And now that's why they could just go so incredibly over the top with,
Yeah.
the Batman v Superman, the
Yeah.
Suicide Squads and all that stuff. Here it's just like, yes, we know it's being saturated. This is why. So we're going to, we more or less, and I think this is where you were saying where this might be a good and bad thing, where basically it's a standard superhero film. Like
Yeah.
you see the origin story and
Yeah,
stuff.
they do it really
Yeah, and
standard.
the origin story is really gritty. Like for me, that was like the grittiest moment in the whole show.
Right. Good.
How he becomes
Deadpool, yeah.
Deadpool though
Yeah.
is really like the grimiest part in the whole film.
Yeah.
But in general, it is what you expect from every superhero film, even right down to the final showdown with a platform that they're fighting on. I'm not gonna say
Right.
what platform is, but I would say
I think-
it's reminiscent of Captain America: The Winter Soldier,
Right.
how that ended.
Actually, there's a big joke about that because they say, I don't know if it's a proof, but I think the joke was it's supposed to be the first helicarrier from the first Avengers that crashed.
Right.
Somebody said that. It was really the crash helicarrier. I can't remember where I heard that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What else? Performances, especially from Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I will see this. A
Yeah.
ton of other people will see this too, but this man was born to play this character. I am so glad that he
yeah.
stayed
Yeah.
with his character.
Yeah,
He was so faithful. He
gotta
really
admit-
wanted to make it work, and he did it.
No, they
It
put
was
it on.
fantastic.
I put it on par with. I put it on par with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, or say Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man.
And Iron Man, they
Yeah,
were,
it's
they
like
were
you can't-
made
yeah,
for
you
that
can't,
role.
Like you can't
Yeah.
imagine anyone else being this at this point.
Exactly,
It is
Ryan
really
with his humor, this kind of dry, raw humor as well too.
And, okay,
And he
another thing-
is an asshole,
Yeah.
yes, but he is a likable asshole.
Right, and I think what they do, another thing they're doing with the whole bit is, we enter in the age of the anti-hero, the bad versus evil aspect of things. This is Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld's character. Rob Liefeld is very infamous, so his artwork, his material, again, is the period in which he was really popular as a big artist in the industry at the time, in the early 90s.
Right.
And it's interesting to see this now come to full service. They make a bunch of references to Rob Liefeld, I think, in this movie. I couldn't find.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much references
Yeah,
and
so
so
they
much
make-
jokes
and
that
they make-
sometimes they just fly by you so
They make
fast.
a bunch of references to X-Men Origin Wolverine.
Yeah,
They make a
I
bunch
know.
of references to Green Lantern.
Yes.
They make a bunch of references to Ryan Reynolds' career in general.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, X-Men. They poke fun at Fox
Yeah.
for being like such failures. So they kind of like poke fun at themselves. And again, at this point with this movie, Fox needed a win. They're coming off of Fantastic Four, Fantastic, which was more or less a complete disaster and,
Yeah.
and completely embarrassed them. And then Ryan Reynolds needed a win.
Yeah.
It was just like a sort of mess movies he do in a row, it's sort of crap.
Yeah.
And he finally got this to just do so well.
And
And
they-
they
and-
just made it R-rated. That's
Yeah.
the most important
It was-
one.
it was
Give
R-rated.
them
It
as much
stayed true,
creative
yeah.
freedom as possible.
Yeah, it didn't hold back. It didn't hold back for nothing. It
Yeah.
was what it was. It just
Yeah.
gave it to you like
Yeah.
that. They give it to you raw.
And that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do with the character. You don't
Yeah.
try to take yourself too serious or anything like that.
Right. There was one thing. There was one little in joke. I would say like this. There's someone I know, and when the last Thor, not the last Thor film, Captain America: Winter Soldier came out. One question he stated is that because it's in the Marvel universe, you would think that if Captain America was in trouble or danger,
Yeah.
he could just call on Iron Man or call on Hulk to help him
Yeah.
out. So in this film, just like a little spoiler, there's a moment where Deadpool literally knocks on the door of
Yeah.
the Xavier Institute
Yeah, and there's no
and
one.
asks,
Yeah.
That's
That's one of the best jokes.
yeah, so
Yeah, well, just spoil it. because
yeah.
That's one of the best.
So it's like that. It's like
Again,
they're literally
another-
right around the corner.
Another
so knock and help.
fourth wall kind of breaking
Yeah.
moment.
And then
The post-credit sequence as well also makes reference to another character. And again, it's another meta joke.
Yes.
They make fun. They basically make fun of post-credit sequences.
Yeah,
Why-
but that post-credit sequence also references a very famous, still one of the best 80s comedies of all time. I'm not gonna say what it is. You have to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
Which also breaks the fourth wall as well too. That's the only clue I'm gonna give you guys.
Right. And then
Character breaks the fourth wall a lot. Once you know that, then you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, and then they do a last piece with I think I know what it is. Anyway, they do, and then I don't know if this is a spoiler. Anybody who's familiar with the material, they reference a character, and it's going to be the actor who's pining for this character has been pining for the character for a long time. A man by the actor by the name Stephen Lang, and
I think the last time I saw him was in this shit movie, Conan the Barbarian.
Right.
He was the villain. Yeah.
Anyway, Stephen.
Yeah, but all right. So like I said before, I love the acting. I love the dialogue. The script.
Yeah.
Well written. I love the creativity. I love the attention that they put into it. I love the fun that they had with it as well too. Like I said, it is primarily humorous from start to end, but when they really get to serious moments, I like the fact they didn't hold back. They showed you the seriousness, they showed you the brevity of the situation, and you really felt it, and it really reminded you that yes, this is not child's play, this is not fun.
Yeah, they made it,
people can die, this is real,
Yeah, they made it really work in terms of the violence.
But it didn't bog down in it, so, and really made it feel bad.
There's a little projection time, not no ratings yet, just a projection time. I am a bit worried for Suicide Squad now. Because this movie, because of the rated R, is like, Suicide Squad need to be rated R.
Yeah, but I don't think they will.
They can't.
I doubt
it's PG-13, but that's a problem. So I'm a bit worried for Suicide Squad now.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie, if anything, gives
another piece of celebration is that this movie completely destroyed Zoolander 2. I'm so glad for that. Zoolander 2 was hot garbage.
Yeah. Like how much it is in the box office right now? Like 2 or some kind of thing. So
what?
Well, I know.
What, Deadpool?
No. Deadpool is number 1, but what about Zoolander? Like, I don't even know.
I don't care.
Yeah. Right, so what else?
And then,
go on.
Oh, and then what I suspect, this is a kind of spoiler, because what I expect to see Deadpool at the end of Apocalypse.
That's what people are anticipating.
Why? Because of, again, who the character that's mentioned at the end of this film. He's a character that's very heavily tied to Apocalypse.
Yes. Wouldn't say any more about that.
No, again, in many ways, anybody who's a fan will know exactly who we're talking about.
Even if you saw the cartoons, then you should know.
Right.
I will say, let's get back to what I liked about it though. The action sequences were phenomenal.
Very good.
Well shot, well edited. No shaky cam, none of that bullshit. You saw everything, you got the detail. The only downsides though is just the way how they treated some of these side characters like Colossus. And there was this moment where Wade has this blind woman be like a friend of his.
Yeah.
I felt that they didn't really spend too much time on her, or enough time on her, I should say.
Yeah.
She was just there in the background, just kind of like cussing, Wade for just doing shit.
Yeah.
I kind of figured that she was going to be like, Stick from the Daredevil TV series. Someone who could, put up with the guy's shit and kind of put him in his place, but she's just there in the background. Like,
didn't do much with it.
Yeah, you're just in my house, okay, you're welcome, whatever, And the villain didn't really stand out as much, although I still stand by my opinion that actor is better, plays better as a villain than actual hero.
Gina Carano was in it. She was good. She does not much.
She's hot though, I would say.
I forget what she
was in the 6th Fast and Furious.
I know, but I was saying I don't know. I forget what her.
What her character is.
Her character is, because it's a comic book character.
Yeah, I forgot though. Did they mention her?
Yeah,
her name, right?
I really forget. What else?
And also too, the CG, like I say, it is fairly good.
You only notice it. You notice a lot with some of Daredevil's movements, and then Colossus in particular. That's it.
Daredevil, you mean Deadpool?
I said Daredevil. Deadpool, when some of his movements, you see him like when he's jumping around and bouncing around a bit. And Colossus himself really looked. Some of the CG was kind of cheap, but it's a very cheap.
But there's really the budget.
The budget is quite low.
The budget is quite low. Because this was a huge gamble.
Right.
You bring out a superhero movie R-rated superhero movie at Valentine's.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the main reasons why it worked is because of the marketing.
Yeah.
Dude, the people behind this marketing scheme for this film need an Academy Award. They pulled off an excellent job with this way.
But they did.
Oh my God, just Fast and Furious.
They did a ton of jokes, and again, the meta material. They made a bunch of references. Like, okay, one of the big things that comic books always suffer from is that, or even big franchises tend to suffer from, is that the toy lines spoil stuff in the movie. Because they will release something to reference
say a Doomsday,
right, or something like that. Right, Star Wars did it, and in Deadpool they made a joke about, I can't believe you spoiled the hot balloon sequence. I was like, that's not in the movie, but it's a joke about how you spoil stuff, and the Lego Deadpool does that. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Written.
I wanted to give this a 4.5. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I will give it a strong 4 to a light 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Right.
Definitely see this movie in theaters. Do not waste, do not stick, do not pass up on this opportunity. You're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a fan of superhero movies, even if there's things about superhero movies that you don't like, then this will be right up your alley. Because you could pick out, that's how superheroes and movies are. Yeah, I don't like that. Why are they always doing this?
Yeah.
They poke fun at all of that, and you're gonna have tons of fun with it. And even if you're looking for like a serious story, you're gonna get that serious origin story. You're gonna get a damn fine superhero story as well too.
I give this medium to low IMAX. It's actually worth your money. You should go IMAX to see this. It's still not perfect.
It's not perfect by a long shot
because it cheats a little bit with its own material. Again, it's like they're doing their own Mystery Science Theater.
So you're making fun of certain cliches, but you're doing the cliches too because it's a superhero movie and you need the cliche, like the final sequence, for example.
Yeah, and they made, but the thing is, they made the whole. I could imagine. What will be hilarious is when honest trailers do an episode of something like this because it's
my gosh,
it's like wait, they already do the movie already did that. Like honest trailer might do a bit where they didn't do anything at all.
Yeah, can't wait to see how Deadpool should have ended though. That would be
or
cool.
something like that.
That would be fun. Yeah,
or something like that. Again because it feeds into that culture of meta and that kind of stuff.
I will say it is the first first best movie I've seen for the year.
In a long time.
I hope that it stays within that top 5 category. Maybe it could be a number 1. Who knows? But sorry, not Marvel, but Warner certainly has had some catching up to do. But Marvel started out strong with this one, so I don't know if
I don't really call it Marvel. I call it Fox.
Fox Marvel. Yeah.
No,
Marvel.
I know, but the thing is, I am happy with this movie. I'm really happy with what they pulled this off in the final product. It had a big thing leading up to it when they wanted to do. Maybe it had a CG thing that was around Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And Brian Reynolds leaked it online, and it had a whole thing.
Yeah, and they actually replicated the intro.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, the opening sequence, I should say, for the film.
Well, awesome. X gonna give it to you. Awesome.
Yes, and the way how they use that song.
And then Shoot by Salt and Pepper.
Right. Well done as well too.
Another thing, I don't know if this is a fact. I think if I remember correctly, I don't know why they use Shoot by Salt and Pepper, but I keep thinking they reference. I think that song was 1993, late 93.
I think it's 91 or 90. It's either 93 or 91.
No, I think it's late 93.
Okay.
Or early 94. And I think that was when Deadpool's official first comic came out. At the first time. I think so. I think that is what.
That's some good trivia there, buddy.
I think so.
Yeah.
You had to look that up. But don't quote me on that for sure. But I think that is the case. That is what. So.
Cutting is more than this is a cool song,
Right, I think it has something to do.
It has more to do with
it. Something to do with Rob Liefeld being a fan of Salt and Pepper or something along those lines.
Okay.
And then I always forget how good of a song Shoop is.
Yeah, it is still catchy as hell though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it just made it totally work in this film.
Yeah. So guys, once again, if you haven't seen the show, if you didn't get a chance to see it for the Valentine's Day weekend like we did, go and see it as soon as you can. Yes. See it before the hype dies down. See it before. Before you ask yourself, wait, are they still showing Deadpool in theaters?
It's very
are they still? No, go and see it now.
Yeah, so because the next big run is Batman v Superman.
Yeah, see it before Batman v Superman, guys. Like real talk.
It's before Batman. Batman v Superman is the next on the list. I
still have high hopes for it because of the acting and the director behind it.
I worried about it. I will see.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
that's basically a review of Deadpool. A very, very strong start of the year for me,
and for me too.
Yeah, so I'm very glad. I plan to go and watch it back.
Yeah. Oh yes, definitely worth seeing again, guys. Definitely worth seeing again.
Just for the humor alone.
Yeah, because trust me, there were moments like people were just laughing through some jokes, so I had to pick up on them, and then of course the references I must have picked up.
There was a guy who was talking on the phone, and he was next like 2-3 seats away from me on the bottom, and his phone was bright, and I was like, bruh. Really? You can't be serious.
Yeah, like
that was
put the phone down
and he was talking and he was loud. And I was like, alright, so I missed some jokes, dude.
Like I can imagine like, yo, watching Deadpool.
No, he was like talking to somebody and giving instructions, just pissing him off. Anyway,
forget that, yeah.
Whatever. Strong start. Really strong start for the year. I give it a really, really good score. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
For our full podcasts of all these things that we've mentioned.
Yeah. Next time, most likely it will be. Was the next big movie
coming? I'm not gonna watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I may watch that.
Doubt I will check it out.
I'll barely tolerate that. I might go and see it.
999 looks really, really decent though. Looks really gritty and grimy,
there's a
like
movie-
Sicario level grimy.
Yeah, I want to see. There's a movie called Hardcore Henry or Hardcore Harry. Hardcore. That's the original name for it, but I think they call it Hardcore Henry, which is basically a first-person view.
Right, I remember you mentioned that before with the last few
I think I'm gonna get a screening for that this Tuesday. So that's it.
Yeah, so
This episode of Weird Sweet Really.
All right, so Ricardo, just to close things off, where can we find you online?
So you can find me Ampersat, RMEDY on Twitter, and then type in Ricardo Medina on Facebook, and that will locate my location. Matthew, where can we contact you?
You could find me on the Twitter pool if you search for Legally Black MJB, MJB in capital letters. On the Facebook pool, just type in Matthew Bailey, or you could look for a Legally Black blog official fan page. And if you go on the Google pool, you could type in legallyblack.wordpress.com or whatever search engine or search pool that you frequent. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. And also, before I forget, guys, just rounding up everything, what did you think about Deadpool? Did you see Deadpool yet? If you haven't seen it, why? If you don't care about Deadpool, why exactly? Did you like the film? Did you hate the film? Did you get the jokes? Did you not get the jokes? Did you see Hail Caesar? What do you think about that? Did you see Space Cop? What do you think about that?
Recommend it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's one definitely I have to check out as well too. Kung Fu Panda 3, what do you think about it? Do you think it's the weakest of the trilogy? Do you think it's the strongest? Do you think it's the end of the trilogy? There's going to be no more Kung Fu Panda movies, and we're going to have to see Jack Black play some other animated character that we hate even more? I don't know. And of course, what about Kanye West's album, The Life of Pablo? Do you, because I'm still confused as to the title. I still don't know what that title means. If you know what it means, let me know. What do you think about the album? Did you like the album? Did you hate the album?
Yeah.
What tracks you like? What tracks you didn't like? What do you think about Kanye?
Yeah.
You think this is it for Kanye, or you're going to go into Jesus mode again? I don't know. So, comment below, let me know, and that's about it.
Yes. Peace out.
So until next time, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Matthew Bailey.
This is Ricardo Medina.
Signing off. So take care, guys, and later.
Yeah.